guys? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Real Estate Deal Boomers. Listen, every single Tuesday I go live and tell you guys about deals that we're currently working on. How did we find the deal? How are we funding the deal? How are we structuring the deal? How did we choose the exit strategy? And today I'm going to break down another deal that I'm working on with Steve, who's coming into my Saturday classes every single Saturday, guys. I'm teaching some newbies here locally in Atlanta, in an office downtown. So if you're local in Atlanta and you're not showing up there, so we're doing a lot of pre-foreclosures. There are some of them that are hitting the ground and door knocking pre-foreclosures, literally contracts coming out of that. And this one is one of those where Steve was literally just, I think he was driving around or walking around and found this deal. So I'm going to break down. If you're new to this channel, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out when I put out new content. All right, guys. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure that I'm public here on Facebook, and boom. Let's see. Bennett, no, that's not what it needs. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna let y'all get in here. I'm gonna make sure. Let's see. I'm gonna make sure. Okay, boom. There you go. Edit post. I'm gonna make sure I'm public on Facebook as well, so people can follow. Let's see, pin. Boom. There you have it, guys. Again, like I said, so today I'm going to break down a deal that we currently have, which is a creative finance deal. And this is through a real estate agent, right? So this is agent outreach. For all of you out there crying that there's no deals to be done, we're doing deals every single day with real estate agents. Currently on this market, a lot of properties are not selling, sitting on the MLS, absolutely not selling. So right now, going after, pre-foreclosures specifically is always going to be like, in any market, whether the market is doing good, bad, really doesn't matter. It's recession-proof type of leads. But real estate agents right now, they have so many properties they have listed on the market and it's not selling, right? So this deal that I'm about to break down here is through a real estate agent. And this is where the not overthinking 101 gets you contracts. Here's how Steve got it. Like I said, again, I'm going to repeat if you just jumped in. Every single Saturday in Atlanta, I'm teaching newbies at a local office downtown, and we're door knocking pre-foreclosures, reaching out to real estate agents, calling expired listings, and deals are coming out of it. So if you're local in Atlanta, you're not showing up there, I don't know what to tell you. Every single Saturday from 9 to 5, sometimes 9 to 7, sometimes we go in the field and walk properties and all of that. Steve, that is coming to those trainings, literally he was driving. This is in Covington, Georgia. He was driving and he saw for sale sign by a real estate agent. And he just decided to just call. It's like he just decided, let me call the real estate agent that had this sign on the yard in front of this property. This is how we ended up getting this deal. This is first. So one of the questions that I get all the time is, hey, Mamadou, how do you guys choose your exit strategy? Like, how do you know if the property is going to be a midterm rental? How do you know if the property is going to be Airbnb? How do you choose if it's going to be a rental? That's what I'm going to go over here. And then on top of that, also show you that sometimes you have to pivot, right? Because sometimes you negotiate these properties, you start with a number, then you end up with a different number. That's what's happening with this property. But basically, how did we get it? Steve took action. He saw a sign on the yard by a real estate agent and called that agent. He pitched the real estate agent terms. This property wasn't even on the market for a long time. That's the crazy part. But it seems like this is a son that is responsible for selling this property. His mom is the owner, I think, and is going through some medical issues, if I'm not mistaken. And so he's interested in selling it. He owes about, I actually have the numbers here. He owes about $229,000 on this mortgage. And this is a conventional loan, guys. Listen to the interest rate, 3.879%. I repeat, 3.879%, when most people right now are getting loans at over 7%. So this is the great thing about subject twos. Going after these deals, you can take over underlying mortgages by having the seller leave it on their name at such a low interest rate, 3.879%. So the total mortgage, 229. And here's what he worked out. The numbers that he worked out with the real estate agent is we're paying $6,500 to the real estate agent. Okay, the real estate agent is getting paid on this. He called the agent, pitched him terms. Hey, we can come up to this number. Obviously, this property is worth around like maybe 290. Is a complete turnkey property. I would have shared my screen here and showed you guys the property. The thing is, we're closing on this property next week, and until we close, some of you, might try to go behind people's back. So I'm not gonna share it here, but I'll probably put in the link below later. But basically, this property is worth 290, guys. They owe 229. Okay, and the terms that we worked out is 6,500 to the real estate agent. You want to make sure the real estate agent always get paid, because that's repetitive business, right? And when Steve talked to this real estate agent, the real estate agent was like, "Man, I wish I knew about this credit finance stuff beforehand, so I could even bring you guys these kind of deals before I even list them on the market. Bring them to you as a packet listing, because right now, his wife is a mortgage broker. He's a real estate agent, and they completely understand how rough this market is. A lot of properties on the market not selling, right? And so 6,500, we're getting him paid, which he's already bringing other leads, right? The monthly payment on this thing is 1973 every single month. That's the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Okay. Now, typically, what do I care about when I'm looking at a credit finance deal? Guys, we started this deal as a hybrid, taking over 229, and then the seller is asking $31,000 on equity, getting 20,000 at the close of escrow as cash to seller. And then the seller was willing to finance his remaining $11,000 on the second position. Okay, so this would have been essentially a hybrid. What is a hybrid? It's partially subject to and partially seller finance. Here's the challenge. We started with just there's a mortgage and then there's equity to the seller. We opened escrow, we did the title search, and the UCC lien popped up. What is a UCC lien? Typically, is either the seller took out a loan to buy windows, right, or took out a loan to buy solar panels. In this case here specifically is solar panels. So the seller has solar panels on this property. They took out a loan. So on those solar panels, they're also making monthly payments on those solar panels. There's the great thing again about subject to is you can buy property subject to underlying mortgage to Wells Fargo, Chase Bank, really doesn't matter. And you can also buy a property subject to extra loans like how do you call it, solar panel loans. Like on this one, we can take over subject to that solar panel lien and just keep making those monthly payments. We've taken over properties where they had like an AC unit that they took out a loan to buy the AC unit and they had monthly payments on it. We took that over. So it's those type of things. But typically a UCC lien, so far, most of the files that I've done that involved a UCC lien, again, the seller didn't know about this lien or they didn't bring it up. So we didn't know about it. So at first we were like, okay, we're going to take over that 229 loan and then give you $31,000, give you a down payment on that 31, $20,000, then you finance the rest. That makes this deal a hybrid. Now we have to pivot. Why do we have to pivot? Because when we open up escrow and do the title work, this lien, this UCC lien popped up out of nowhere and they owe $27,000 extra. So they owe $27,000 extra on the solar panels that still have to be paid every single month. And the monthly payment on that is $148.32. Okay. And here's what we just negotiated, guys. We literally negotiated today that the seller will be the one making the monthly payments on that 148 UCC loan every single month after we close escrow. So we're gonna put a legal document in place stating that the seller is responsible for the UCC lien payments every single month after we close. So for us, we just need to worry about the first payment, which is the PITI on the underlying conventional loan, the 1973. Why is this important? Because this is where people ask all the time, like, how do you guys pick your exit strategy? There's three factors that we take into consideration when we're picking the exit strategy. One is the entry fee. The entry fee, guys, is the money that we have to bring to the table to close on the deal. Cash to seller, cash to real estate agents, wholesale fee if there is, either we pay it ourselves or paying another wholesaler, closing costs, renovation costs, holding costs, and marketing costs, right? That's what we take into consideration. How much are we bringing to the table to make this deal happen, to get into the deal? And then secondly, we take into consideration the location. What works best in this location? Is there hospitals around it? If there is, then you might want to consider midterm rentals where you rent it to traveling nurses. That only makes sense. Is there a tourist destination here that brings people around on Airbnb? right? Then you might consider Airbnb. Regular rentals. What is the HOA rules and regulations here for regular rentals? So so the location. So first you have the entry fee. Second, you have the location. Third, you have the cash flow. Let's say hypothetically in a scenario where you have like three options that work. It works as a rental, it works as a midterm, and then it works as a, let's say, Airbnb as well. Well, you have to look at the property and go, okay, how much money am I bringing, and which exit strategy bring me the highest and best cash flow, and just go with that logically, right? But this scenario here is where you have to pivot, because like this deal right here, it doesn't work as a regular rental. Why? Because the regular rental in this area is around like $2,000, and the monthly payment on the mortgage, even though it's a very low interest, is 1973. So this is technically negative cash flow as a regular rental. So we're not going to do a regular rental on this property. Secondly, it's not a huge tourist destination. So Airbnb is probably not a good idea. The first exit strategy that we thought of was to rent it by the room and do the pad split model. The problem is there is an HOA on this property, and pad split doesn't allow, like they don't do, they don't do it in HOA communities. We have a property nearby this property that is rented by the room, but we ended up finding out that that owner is renting to family members, so we cannot really take that into consideration when we're doing rooming comp. Rooming is when you take the property and you rent it by the room, so we cannot take that into consideration. So here's what we're going to do. Because this property, so you got to let the numbers and the location sometimes dictate your exit strategy. The reality is, guys, we didn't overthink all those things until we put it on the contract. We open up escrow, then we started doing our due diligence, and then we just pivoting and adjusting accordingly. That's just real estate. That's how it works. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do with this one, guys. We're gonna do what is called a wraparound mortgage. We're gonna do what is called a wraparound mortgage. Why are we gonna do a wraparound mortgage? We're gonna go find a family that is looking to get into home ownership, have the money, have a job, but don't have the credit, so they cannot go qualify with the bank. And we gonna become their bank on this property. Why? Because I figure, you know what, this property is below $300,000. The value of this property is probably 290 on the high end. Is below $300,000, and the underlying interest rate here on the existing loan is 3.879%. So we can find a family and finance it to them between 6-7%, make it sweet to where we finance it over what we're getting the property for, get a down payment to cover. Let's say hypothetically we spend, I think we're gonna spend around like $35,000 to close on this property. And then if I go and ask, even if it's a 10% to my end buyer, my end wrap buyer, that will cover very close to maybe at least 90% of my entry fee. So I'll be able to recoup upfront at least the money that we spent, and be all in, almost zero money out of pocket or very little out of pocket, right? And just be their bank, collect net cash flow every single month. No landlord headaches, because when you finance this type of houses and when you do a wraparound, you're not a landlord, you're just a bank, right? So guys, you have to be able to pivot. So sometimes you start with one exit strategy, and then at the close of escrow, the numbers change, and you just got to be able to pivot. This is why when you get a good deal where, okay, the real estate agent is open to it. Again, if you're just jumping in, guys, here's what I said. How we found this deal. I'm teaching newbies every single Saturday in Atlanta, locally in an office. Steve, one of those people that show up every single Saturday there, he was literally driving and he saw a for sale sign by a real estate agent and just decided to call. That's how we get this deal, right? And so sometimes you start with X numbers, and then you open escrow and everything changes because there's liens that come up that you didn't plan for, and you gotta adjust. So what dictates your exit strategy, guys? Typically the location, your entry fee, and the cash flow. And you gotta go with what's best. So I think in this area, what we're gonna do is we're gonna find a good family, we're gonna finance it to them, become their bank, right? Collect a down payment, and then collect every single month as the bank, monthly payments with no headaches. If the toilet leaks, they have to fix it. They pay the taxes and insurance. We don't need to worry about that because it's their property. We'll finance with them for maybe for 7 years or so, and then just call it a day. I think that's what we're gonna do on this one. And typically, guys, if a real estate agent is not involved when I'm doing my wraparounds, I close with my buyer and the seller, my wrap buyer and my seller, I close the same day. So I don't have to do two closings. But with this one, because there is a real estate agent involved, we have to close on it first, then go find a wrap buyer, and then do another closing with the wrap buyer. So we're gonna bring here a short-term private lender to fund the deal for 4 to 6 months for the entry fee, like $35 to $38,000, and then they're gonna get paid out maximum in 6 months. Typically, it takes about 90 days to 4 months to find a wrap buyer, especially in this market. We used to find all of our wrap buyers on Facebook Marketplace. It was really easy, but for some reason, something happened with Facebook. Their algorithm sucks right now when it comes to Facebook Marketplace, so we have to go on the MLS to find those buyers. And the reason I'm going to choose wrap on this property, like I said again, is because this property is worth under $300,000, and this is super appealing to the first-time home buyer avatar because they can afford the monthly payments, if that makes sense. So if you're asking yourself how we choose an exit strategy, guys, this is how we choose it. Okay. Number two, there's deals on the market. Reach out to real estate agents. If you're not calling on market 90-day plus listings and calling expired listings, you're missing out. Obviously, my students that are coming on the Saturdays here, they're doing a lot of pre-foreclosure door knocking. So we're getting a lot of deals out of that. So please, guys, let me know in the comments below. Leave a comment if you get any value out of this. If you're watching this in the future and have any questions, put in the comments below, and I will make sure to respond to you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out. Every single day I'll go live and break down a deal we're working on or we just closed on. But typically, I'm going to break down a deal that we're in the middle of working on and about to close on. So you can see not only we're doing deals, but also show you how we structure these deals, how we look at the numbers, how we pivot, the headaches we're dealing with. I have another property right now, and I'm going to end with this in Florida. Everything went well up to the last minute. We did the FHA partial claim and all of that, and the ex-wife is about to kill the deal because she don't want to sign the document. Shit happens. Shit happens. So real estate, this is also why you never want to count your chickens until they hatch. All right, guys. I'll see you next Tuesday. Same time, guys. Look out for it. So make sure you leave a comment. Please let me know if you had any value out of this video. And don't forget, also on Thursday is my Bold Effect podcast. And until next time, guys, stay bold and be bold. Boom, boom.